I'd like to introduce now a well-known political activist for motorcycling Australia-wide, former president of the Motorcycle Riders Association, now Independent Riders Group of Australia, Damien Cognoggrotto.
Hiya, Damien!
Thanks, Dale. Well, we've covered a lot of ground. A lot of these speakers have highlighted the dangers that these kinds of laws represent to all Australians. In Victoria, they didn't do what they did in Queensland and put them in a big block. They snuck bits and pieces in. So we now have a way to ban you from assembling in a place. We now have a way to ban organisations, declare them criminal organisations, and under that legislation, which went through the Victorian Parliament in July, we've got the presumption of innocence is gone, and the right to associate is on its way. They're not enforcing it hard yet, but they'll let it sit and then they'll go for it. The good news is that on Saturday, our Attorney General, who put all these in, got chucked out. The first speaker, Bear, he was talking about social engineering, and it's a fact. That's what they're doing. They're engineering the society so that they have more control over the public and more control over individuals. Now, you can make a difference, not just by coming out here today, that's great, but you need to go back and see your local MPs, establish a relationship and let them know what you think. You need to get younger riders involved. Have a look around here. Most of us need wheelchairs. Right? There's 1.4 million Australians with road licences. That's a lot of people. So if we can get the younger generations involved, we're going to be much more powerful in terms of voting blocks. The other things we can do is simply to attend public activities, big ones. This time of year, obviously, toy runs are about. Make the effort, get along.
Next week.
Yeah, there's yeah, that's right. December 7 in Melbourne and Tassie.
Yep.
And Geelong is December 14. I can't remember. There's a whole lot of them anyway. Adelaide's the 14th of December, I've just been told. Okay, so what we've got to do is get more involved in the system, not one day a year, but often. And you've got to remember that whilst our elected governments or elected politicians, some of them are pretty crook, you've got to remember that the people underneath them are going to be there all the time. In Victoria, the villains are at Vic Roads mostly, and what I'd like to do is embarrass public servants when I can. We had one woman, a Dr. Alexandra Douglas, paid a fortune, hates anything like a camera, and she sat across from me and one of my research guys, this is only a couple of months ago, and said that they were bringing in a lights on law because they wanted to stop learner riders from turning their headlamps off in daytime. And when I pointed out to her that bikes in Australia haven't been sold with light switches for 20 years, she nearly fell off her chair. But then I went out and I told every journalist I could, put it all over the internet and send it to every member of Parliament in Victoria so that that woman who hates publicity really copped it in the neck. Every one of you can do that. When you see something that's stupid and wrong, go after them, publicise it, stick it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever they do. I can't emphasise enough how people power works. We need numbers. We've got to get more people involved. We've got to go and see our MPs, and we can keep this country free. If we sit back, this country is going to slide into an authoritarian state at the very least. So thank you all for coming. Thanks for listening.